This is your boy Yaya, and I'm going to be discussing. We're going to get into the discussion of what we've been discussing for a long, long time, for like a past couple of days. This has been the main topic now. But yeah, who is the actual top G? Who is the real top G right now? Is it Sneako or is it Andrew Tate? Because Andrew Tate claimed to be the top G for a long, long time. That was the whole perception for a long, long time. But now Sneako actually believes that Andrew Tate himself does not believe in his morals, and he's actually part of the Matrix. He's the guy who, instead of skipping the Matrix, he actually is part of the Matrix, who actually bowed down, bent over to Matrix. And Sneako believes that he is the one who's actually fighting the Matrix. He's the one who is bringing the trends, who's sort of revolutionizing, who is actually challenging Matrix right now. And Andrew Tate, instead of condemning Patrick Bet David on the podcast, he kind of he kissed the wall. This is what Sneako believed, to be honest. So we don't really know where it's going, but I'm gonna get your opinions on this thing. Who do you think is the actual top G? Do you think Andrew Tate has the right to be the top G? And I know he's got kids now, he's got a whole family, and he has to be he has to make decision based on it, based on the family, because they're going to be the one actually facing the consequences. So it's not just about Andrew Tate himself. He can't get away with every single thing that he says. But does that not give him the right to call himself the top G? Yo, Fike, how's it going, bro? You're right. By the way, how was your day, man? How's it going? By the way, I have one question for you. I don't know if you've been following the drama between Sneako and Andrew Tate. Sneako actually claims that he's the real top G now. He's been saying that for last few days, and he believes that Andrew Tate is actually part of the Matrix, and he's not the guy who's actually going to lead us to escape the Matrix. So how is he a top G now? And he's the guy who can now be pressed, and he can bow down to you. So that takes away the right for him to say, to call himself the top G. Now Bradley Martin actually Sneako the top G, yeah. That's the train I'm on right now. I'm on the Sneako train right now. This guy's been streaming every single day. By the way, Bradley had Andrew Tate on his podcast. I think that was yesterday. I was actually watching it. I haven't finished it yet. But Andrew again was attacking Sneako again. And Andrew said that I've got a wife and I got a kid, so there are things that he could get away with before. But now he's trying to moderate his content. So Bradley actually said that if Sneako, if you get pressed to that extent, like if you get put in a jail and they tell you that you're going to be in jail for like 10 years, would you be bowing down to it? So maybe Andrew Tate is not that bad overall. But Sneako said, if you can't actually get pressed, that takes away the right to be called the top G, the most masculine man, the guy who can revolutionize the whole concepts of the humanity. You cannot call yourself top G and then be bow down to the power. He's right on that. He is the one speaking the truth. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I do get the understand the point of Andrew Tate, where it's coming from, where it's saying, I've got a life and I've got kids, I've got a wife, I got to take care of them, and there are things that I could get away with, but I can't get away with anymore now. So I have to sort of moderate my content, right? But at the same time, that takes away the right to be called the top G. Sneako is the new top G because that guy does not care right now. He sold his soul, man. He sold his soul. You know, in Bradley, he was saying that maybe I should probably sell my soul because I would be able to make millions of dollars and I would be able to get out of all the trouble. But I think I'm getting a call right now. Let me just send them a message. I'm getting a call. Yeah. So to get away with this court cases, I think they have something on him where they've offered some sort of protection to him, where they're like, we can actually take you out of the situation and just play along with it. Just be part of the matrix, and he doesn't have a choice right now because he has to like protect his family as well, which I know he had the kids and the family before as well. But now I think he's probably living for them, right? So I do understand. I do understand the part as well. By the way, this guy, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna throw him under the bus. Like this guy actually played the song in Bugatti. Remember when the song actually came out new, and Tate wanted to prove that he was a cool guy, that he could get away, that he could just do anything. So he did that. He did that. He played the song in his Bugatti. That there's a video of it. So that's what Sneako is talking about. It's like you have a problem when we're playing the song in the car, but you actually play the song by yourself in the car, and you actually uploaded the video. It's not like. And if he was getting uncomfortable with it, he could have told people to actually put the song down, but he didn't. By the way, do you know who actually played the song? According to many of the resources, it wasn't actually Sneako who played the song, it was Fresh who played the song. And have you been following the rivalry between Sneako and Fresh as well? Dude, Fresh actually, you know what? It's in the recording actually. So I don't know if it was Tristan or somebody else. They asked Fresh to actually play the song, and Fresh did it. So if that turns out to be true, then blaming Sneako would not even exist. Then that would be out of the picture. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They might actually fight, man. Sneako actually wants to fight him, but I think Fresh is actually pulling away from the fight. He doesn't want to do it anymore. They might do it on they both don't like each other and they want to fight on the Misfit card, by the way. Fresh is not gonna do it. I think he's backing away because he's seen Sneako sparring. Have you seen Sneako sparring new one? This guy's actually pretty good, man. The way he was throwing the kicks and even the boxing form, it looked pretty good. Like he's actually turning his hips. There's a bit of rotation going on. So I think Sneako is actually gonna be alright. Um, by the way, just one general question actually. What do you think about Clav's whole brand of like looks maxing? What do you think about this? Do you think men should actually do it? And I can actually give you the side of Andrew Tate, his opinion on that. He actually believes that men should actually look attractive, but that's not the most important thing. Well, you do want to maximize your look, but at the same time, this is not the most important thing for men because what is most attractive about men is sometimes not the most beautiful look. It could just be a scary look. Like there are people who have money. Like it's about the things that you actually do that matter more than what you look like. You could actually have a scary look, but at the same time, if you're making a lot of money or at least you're helping people a lot, you're good to people, they know they can trust you with shit. That sometimes actually matter more than the looks. So um you find his whole brand is bullshit. Yeah, dude, I don't actually agree with this whole stuff for like looks maxing, like the surgery and stuff. I don't think that's that effective because there's got to be consequences of it, right? If you're saying there's zero consequences, you're not even going to be spending that much amount of money, and without spending money, you can actually get that level of looks. Then I would understand it. Or maybe if you're rich and you can spend money, but then there's no consequences, then I could understand it. Okay, you're trying to look more attractive, but at the same time, if there's consequences, if there's like a potential of you getting like skin cancer or any sort of like skin diseases or not having the fresh skin in the long run, I think this is pretty bad, to be honest. He takes a bunch of steroids and use bunch of surgeries to look good. I'm not even against steroids as long as you're not competing. Like if you're competing, that's gotta be then it would be cheating, and cheating shouldn't be allowed in any sports. That just makes you a very dishonest person. But if you're taking steroids in like normal life and you're taking it in like you're not competing in any sort of sports competition, but you're taking it because it helps you in with your work and stuff, I guess some people might like argue that it's okay to take steroids. I mean, there's people that are openly on steroids. Joe Rogan is on steroids, but he knows that he's not going to be competing anymore. He's past his time. uh Dustin Poirier said when he turns 40 years old, he's going to be taking the steroids. Like he's retired from the UFC now. Clav is fucked up in the head, though. I mean, a lot of people are actually fucked up in the head. So I think once you're famous, you gotta be fucked up in the head, dude. If you are living that life, you will be, because there's a comment section that you have to deal with. There's content that you have to put on daily basis. You have to look crazy to actually get the views and the clicks. What else was I gonna say? By the way, are you following the political situation as well? He takes meth as well. Clav is fucked up in the head, though. He takes meth as well. Maybe he takes meth. I don't know. Meth's gotta be hard, dude. That's a bad one. By the way, are you following the situation with like the ice stuff? What happened with the Alex Peretti? Let me just pull up the ice thing. Okay, so by the way, I was following the stuff with Alex Peretti, man. Dude, in no circumstances you should be allowed to do that. 68 to 14, he openly says that that could be very dangerous because it messes up your sleep. So you're 14, you're not like, even getting enough sleep. Your body is not even good enough to actually to like take this, to be able to undergo the effects that it will bring to your life. I don't think the body at this age is good enough, strong enough. So yeah, I feel like I don't support this sort of lifestyle. But coming back to the ice thingy with Alex Peretti, I watched the whole video and I watched it from multiple angles. from different camera angles. This guy was actually trying to save his friend. So his friend was actually getting pushed by the ICE, and according to the ICE resources, she was living illegally in the country, and then she wasn't complying to all the she wasn't complying to the instructions from ICE, and she was actually also she didn't have her like ID card or something like this. Oh my god, this guy Rose Cozy's back. Holy shit. Dude, I do not want you in my life, dude. Oh my god. A different angle of me. Holy shit. This is insane. Okay, by the way, yeah, Fike. So what I'm saying is that I watched the video from every single angle. So I watched it, and there's no way you can actually justify it. I know what the Republicans are actually saying, that there was like a threat of that person actually. No, there was a threat of that person actually shooting because that person was actually holding a gun. Dude, that guy was not even trying to fight. He literally was holding the girl. He literally was trying to protect the girl because they pushed the girl. And why are you scared of the girl? There's like six, seven people. There's like actually eight, nine ICE officers over there, right? And Alex Peretti actually goes over there. He's trying to protect the girl. And now they pin him down. And there's like 5 to 6 dudes in direct contact with him, on top of him, pinning him down. Like, are you telling me the ICE officers have no training? They have no strength. They cannot even control one guy. So they're on top of him, and he had a gun in his pocket or like hand or whatever. Not in the hand actually. And they disarmed him before actually shooting him. They disarmed him, and then one guy shot him like once or twice, and then they shot him like 5 to 6 times. After he was dead, they shot him like 6 to 7 times. This is kind of insane. Do you see what's happening over here? And Republicans are always going to find a way to actually support this sort of activity. They would do that with ICE, but I'm seeing that more and more in the media now. It's getting very hard for them to defend it actually, and I think this should just be abolished. Do you know, by the way, how much training ICE is getting? ICE is getting only 42 days of training. So if you're like a normal police officer, just to get on the streets, you need to get like first you need to get like 140 days of training. First, that is like the basic training, and after that, you need like a few months of more training to get on the. There's basic training, and then there's another type of training to actually be able to deal with it in the streets. And exactly. What's the point of like taking the gun away from him and then shooting him? And he was not even trying to shoot. And by the way, bro, everybody, he was the rightful owner of the gun. He had the license. So in America, either you put like the what's that? The restriction on the guns. Either you disqualify having a gun in the country, but if the First Amendment actually protect your right to have the gun, then it shouldn't be Second Amendment, sorry, then it shouldn't be much of a problem because he owns the gun and he has the right to have the gun. What do you want him to? And then by the way, he's an ICU nurse in US. Yes, dude, that makes it even worse. Like he's a guy who's been trying to save the patients. I don't know how many patients he's saved over a period of time, and he was just trying to protect the woman. And even the way they're blaming the woman, like the woman has been involved in like illegal activities and stuff. Like this guy is just trying to protect it. And you can see, like, if somebody's trying to attack you, they would attack you in a different way. This guy was defense. He was totally defense. Like the woman is there, he's trying to cover up the woman so he could protect her. And then that shows you he's a manly guy, because that would happen to potentially every single guy. Like if you see a woman getting beat up on the streets, obviously you're going to try to interfere and like do something, right? You might not be strong enough. The numbers might be too high on the other side. There might be 10 guys on the other side. You would try to sympathize in a way at least. And this is what this guy was trying to do. And then he gave up his life doing that. He was actually, yeah, pulling women away from the harm, but then that happens, and that tells you, man, the kind of culture that is going on over there, and we don't need ICE in the country. We actually do not. We do not need it. They're taking the rights away from the people. They've got so many rights. They've got so many backing up from like the president to shoot if they need to. And just having the gun does not give them the right to shoot. And it seems like in case of ICE, like that's the ultimatum they've been given. Like if you source of sort of like find any sort of threat, or you assess any sort of threat, then you can shoot a person. But that is completely wrong. Like anybody can assess any sort of threat, or they can actually make it up. Yeah, and who's going to be the one deciding the assessment? Like, what is your assessment? Is just that just based on yourself? But I think citizens are now on high alerts. I don't think they will tolerate more BS from the ICE. But it's not just dependent on the citizens. Obviously, they can bring a revolution. Citizens can actually get on the streets. They can protest, and that's what they've been doing. Even the American citizens would actually do that. So, but I think they just need to get abolished. I think people in the government, people in the power actually need to do that. I don't know how much support that they have. At least Democrats are not supporting them. So Democrats need to take a stance now. And Trump is going to try to pull up a stunt because he wants to win the midterms. Because the thing is, Republicans at the moment have a lot of power. But if Democrats actually win the midterm, then Trump wouldn't have the same amount of power. So that's what I want. But I think citizens are now high alerts. I don't think they will tolerate more BS from the ICE. Yeah. So I mean, this was the thing that I wanted to talk about, to be honest. And yeah, I saw like one of the person from the the biggest officer, the top lead of ISIS, was actually investigating he was defending the attack, saying that the person was actually very harmful. They were trying to attack the ICE members. And by the way, bro, when they actually present the news, it's like they're saying that the federal agents, the ICE agents, have been under attack for that many months. That's how they will present the news. Like, nobody's going to kill the ICE agent. Nobody's actually trying to fight. Nobody's looking for them. That never happens. Like, it's not like people actually getting out on the streets trying to find the ICE agents. Like, oh, I'm gonna look out for ICE agents. Whenever I see an ICE agent, I'm just gonna take a picture of them, upload it. Like, I'm gonna try to hurt them. That doesn't happen. That just doesn't clearly works anymore. Um, okay, FBI agent resigns after trying to investigate ICE officer renegade. Oh my god. Some of the athletes are also speaking against the ICE shooting. Some of the teams are speaking against the ICE shooting as well. Gathering across Wisconsin. Okay, let me check what BBC is actually saying about this. Just stay on it. Let me say what BBC says about this. Um, okay, so a crowd has gathered. They're talking about like a protest, I think, in Minneapolis to protest against federal immigration enforcement after the fatal shooting of 37-year-old Alex Preddy. A protester tells the BBC, such a young guy as well, 37 years old, "We are on tenterhooks. We don't know what's going to happen next." Minnesota government Tim Walz has renewed his call for President Trump to pull federal agents from his state, saying this is an infection point America. Now, Tim Walz is actually taking the stance. I personally like the guy. Like, he talked a lot during the last incident as well, in case of Renee Good, and now again he gave like a good speech. So I hope he's able to pull more. He doesn't pull any more punches. I hope he's able to actually convince Trump to be able to do that. I think there's got to be consequences, because if you're just telling it to Trump, that's not going to work. You got to give him some sort of like consequences. Like, this is the action we're going to be taking if it doesn't work out. State and federal officials have provided conflicting accounts the moments prior to Preddy's death on Saturday. Obviously, the state is going to be on your side, but federal agents are going to take the side of ICE. They will be saying something different. Asked about the multiple videos who have emerged showing the shooting, Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino says there needs to be an investigation to establish the facts. A U.S. citizen and nurse has been described as a kind-hearted by his parents. They called for the truth. And further on, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of protests going on and stuff. Just bad, man. Luke Thomas, by the way, the guy who does the MMA analysis, he's been in the MMA game for like a long, long time. Die hard UFC fan. He does like a live stream of the whole matches as well. He's made a political account very recently, and he's speaking a lot on this ICE issue, and I love it, man. I love it actually. Uh, is there anything else that I want to discuss today? What else is going on? Okay, I'm just gonna play the clip.
With Delivery Plus, you get member perks like free delivery. Sign up and start living that Plus life. Delivery. On
What do you
Booking.com,
think
it's
people should
easy to
fight
make
back now?
holidays.
I don't
It's
believe in
free
people
to
fighting back,
holiday
bro.
home.
I just don't agree with this.
You know,
I
people.
just don't agree with this people fighting back logic because that never works. Actually, you're talking about like a civilized war. You're talking about like people actually bringing the revolution. I don't think it's the best solution, to be honest. Not against the police at least, or not against the ICE at least. I think government gotta take action. People gotta protest. And people have the power, right? People have the power to actually convince the government officials. There's stuff that they can actually do. You can boycott some of the businesses. So if you know there's a business that is linked with ICE or that is supportive of them, you just boycott them. You just boycott them, and actually, there's going to be next election, so actually don't vote them. If you know there's a government that is actually supporting them, and they're bringing the policies that actually do lead to them, actually don't vote for the government. You're the ones who actually voted for the government, and now you're going to have to look at the repercussions, the consequences. You're going to be the one who's going to have to face the consequences. But I think he is behind them, and that's why I will they need to make sure they don't vote for them next time. He doesn't deserve to get the vote. There's better guys in the country. We don't need 80-year-olds guys who don't do anything. And I am a guy who used to be a fan of him. Like I was the guy who actually supported him in 2024 because I thought he was going to be able to. He was going to be anti-war. He was going to be like less foreign intervention. He was going to bring peace in the country, more pro free speech. But we're not actually seeing that. That's not happening to that extent. By the way, let's react to the clip. Andrew Tate quadruples down on Sneako.
People will say, he's not top G anymore. He can't fight anymore, etc. When I was in my prime, I did it.
Yeah.
So I get to live and sleep peacefully at night, knowing that when I was 20 something and I was in my prime, I used my youth and I did it.
Yeah.
And I'm also
Or Sneako will say he's top G.
Look, dude,
Oh,
even in the podcast in Bradley Monty, this guy was he was making a lot of excuses about the boxing fight. To be honest, he's like, I'm not gonna make any excuses. But then he would come up with excuses. He would say, I am 40 years old. Maybe I should not be doing it. He's like, I went to the doctor after the fight and I was like, I told them that I was in peak male physical condition. I trained so hard for the fight, but I don't know why I gassed out in like 2 rounds. Why did that happen? And then doctor was like, oh, it could be adrenaline dump because the doctor actually told me, bro, I'm pretty sure this guy actually just made it up. He's like, the doctor actually told me that you've been going through a lot, that you actually had the court cases, the government has been conspiring against you. You've been talking a lot about the Matrix. So there's a lot of things going on in your head, and maybe that's why. There's a science behind it. Maybe that's why you had an adrenaline dump. Do you think the doctor would actually talk politically like that? Do you think the doctor would actually sit him down and be like, Andrew, sit down. There's a lot going on inside your head. The Matrix is against you. The Matrix did that. And that's why there's pressure on your head, Andrew. I don't think so. I don't think that happened. I think he just made that up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
oh, Brad.
Can I ask you about that?
Sure.
I'm curious because you guys have had I don't know how much time you've had together, but I remember a long time ago. I think he went to Romania.
Yeah. He wanted to be me, and he copied me for a very long time. And then eventually, via Fresh and Fit, he came out to see me. And then he was really weird. So I stopped talking. And for years, I didn't talk.
You know what he's referring to, because Nico is calling himself the top G, right? So Andrew is kind of like he wanted to be me for like a long, long time. So that's kind of a reference that he always wanted to be the top G.
Because he's done many very weird things. And the only reason I'm not telling the story is because he loves attention so much that he wants me to tell the story.
Fair.
That's just who he is.
Dude, if I love attention so much. If you're going on a podcast tour about a song, you're burying your reputation right now. This is not a good look for you. It's embarrassing the fact that you call yourself the top G and a song is making you fall under pressure. The person who's supposed to be unfazed, hard to kill, the masculine.
See, I mean, Sneako is talking, he's speaking facts. It's like, if you're that worried about the attention, if you think I am actually is the one trying to get the attention and you're not the one who wants it, then why are you going on a podcast tour? Like, this guy has been trying to get the attention himself. Like, he's going on every single podcast, like every single day. He's doing 2 podcasts. So I think even Andrew Tate likes it, and that's why he's trying to build a beef between those two, because he likes the attention. I believe that. Show your balls, I want them. What a pathetic move that is. Do you not have balls in your room? Do you not have tennis balls in your room that you can squeeze? Okay, listen
In
to it.
essence, who's not afraid of the Matrix, is folding over a song. Dude, how many more times are you going to talk about this? And the other thing you're saying, oh, he's weird, I never talked to you. Okay, you congratulated me when I got unbanned on YouTube because you started sneak dissing first, and people apply pressure on you. Then you invite me to your party, you shake my hand, you say we're friends. Oh, there's no issues. There's no issues. That looks weird to everybody. This is strange that you act one way to my face and you go on podcasts and act differently. That's weird. Third, over the years, oh, he's weird. I don't talk about him. You have done 3 or 4 streams directly dedicated to talking about me because you got upset that I criticized your take on white supremacy or the lies that were spread about invaders going.
Sorry, I was listening to it. I was reacting to it. I can't. I cannot even react to it anymore because it's like it's getting too much. Your beard is hot.
Into the UK that weren't even invaders. Slaughter your daughter. They're coming in, slaughtering your daughter. No, they're not. They are from the UK, and this knife attack has nothing to do with Somalia. You trying to repaint the narrative when
Yeah, I don't even know why Andrew Tate is actually putting that on the Somalians and the Muslims. To be honest, like this guy's the one we used to talk about UK, and he used to talk about like how unsafe the country was. Like, there's so many criminals over there. There's stabbings going on. Like this guy's been talking about all of this, right? But now anything happens, there's something that's changed, that's shifted in this guy. It could be that he has taken money from them, or they've offered some sort of protection to him, and that's why when he talks about it now, it's gonna bring like Muslim into it, or it's gonna bring like immigrants or into it, or like Somalians. He's just gonna blame those people.
all the footage is out there, when people have seen the events that transpired, is ludicrous. And I'll give you a word of advice. It's not working, bro. It's not helping you out. If there's like a back and forth or whatever this is right now, literally a word of advice, because it's embarrassing to watch. This is not helping your case, bro. I would stop. If I were you right now, I would just stop trying to do this. Stop trying to triple down and take the blame away over somebody who played a song and enjoyed music that you also listened to. It looks silly because it.
By the way, just to reply to you, Rose Cozy, you don't just want Muslims, you want everybody, dude. You want Muslims, you want black dudes, you want big, tall black dudes, you want Icelanders, you want Eddie Hall, you want the Thor, you want the biggest better thing, you even want the animals, you want the horses, you want the elephants, you fucking want a whale as well, Rose Cozy. You want a lot of things, alright? Let me go back.
It is silly. It is just a song.
I'm telling you, he's desperate. He wants it. He wants all of it. He wants the animals. If there are aliens that step on this planet, he would want the aliens. He would want every single thing. He wants to get ripped apart. He wants to remove all the space. That's what he wants. He wants to split atoms.
Principle wise, you're losing this. You snitched on me and your brother admitted it. Your lawyer tripled down on it. You're going on a podcast tour saying that it's okay to snitch on me because you're more famous. This is embarrassing. I'm saying this because it's getting corny now. There's so much more to talk about.
Dude, this is the thing I don't get about Andrew Tate. It's like he's so obsessed with himself. Anytime he talks about it, it's like, I am the most famous man on the planet. I was going there, and there was like a Steven Seagal actually came to me, and he's like, in my son's school program, they teach about you, and that's why you're very famous. Actually, the whole project is kind of based on you. I didn't know that I was famous in China. I was going there. I met like a Chinese man, and he said in China everybody talks about you. And Andrew Tate is like, how do Chinese people actually know about me? I don't even speak Chinese. But this guy kind of like the mentality that he's got. I don't know if he's actually playing on this or if he actually believes this. It could be like a stunt from Andrew Tate. It could be like a smart move from him. But at the same time, if he actually believes this, gotta be the most obsessed man on the planet. Ah.
And like in a lot of ways, it's making me feel, it's like a little bit of pity, bro. It's not helping you.
Work today is broken. Every day, people juggle so many different tools just to get work done. A simple task turns into a...
I refuse to talk to him because he's very strange. And basically, I think his name is pretty appropriate. You know, anyone who calls himself Sneaky. Hi, my name's Sneaky. What man walks around and says, "Hi, my name's Sneaky, be my friend"? It's like, no. So anyway, he's a weirdo. And then I got to Miami.
To be fair, I like the guy. He's always been nice to me.
Of course. Yeah. And he will be until it benefits him not to be.
First of all, the sneaky thing he's talking about is like, I don't like any man who calls themselves sneaky. So why would you name yourself Sneaky? I mean, look at Andrew Tate's name. It's Cobra Tate. Sneaky. Bro, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, your name is Cobra Tate, right? Well, you're a fucking snake. Like, your name is literally Snake. So if you have got something going on in your name, you shouldn't be talking about people's name. But I like how Bradley defended him instantly. He's like, to be fair, I personally like that guy. So I want to see where this is going, actually.
And I got to Miami, and I never met Nick or Clav before, and I was speaking to them, and they're like, "Can we come?" And they were begging to bring Sneako, and I'm a nice guy, so I was like, "Sure." Like, I haven't spoken to him in years. Like, how much damage can you really do?
Yeah.
He's not going to cause an international incident in a nightclub. He's just some dickhead. Like, let him come, whatever.
Hey,
And only
how
a
you
few
doing?
days before that, he was giving me for like I defended Trump in Venezuela.
Yeah. The might is right thing.
Yeah, and dual sponsored misfit.
Okay, by the way, this is what I don't like. Like right now, what Andrew Tate is doing, he's personally attacking Sneako. Sneako never attacked him personally, by the way. The videos that he was making or the videos that he was reacting to was about like the Venezuelan attack and stuff. Like he would react to a video made by Andrew Tate, reacting to what Andrew Tate is talking about, like Venezuela attack and stuff. This is a different kind of stuff, right? This is not a personal stuff. This is reacting to his opinions. It's completely different. And people should have the right to disagree to each other's opinions. Like Andrew Tate was in favor of sort of Venezuelan attack, and Sneako actually kind of like he was going against the attack. He was the opposition. So he reacted to a video. There's nothing wrong with this.
It's which sponsored my fight. So he's constantly making videos insulting me. Andrew sold out because he's a gambling company's on his shorts. Andrew sold out because of Venezuela.
Yes, so true. I think Tate is down the wrong path. Bro, there's something going on with Tate. Do you know, like a few years ago, I would say, look, I'm not going to try to defend the webcam business. I don't think webcam industry is the best industry because you're wasting the time of the young men. You're wasting their money as well. So I don't think you should be proud of that business. But at the same time, there were a few things that he was saying that was actually making sense. Like the thing that he was talking about, Matrix, the system, and all of this, right? And men actually working hard, accountability, and all of this. I was like, I agree with this stuff, actually. A lot of that stuff actually makes sense. Free speech and all of this. But now it's like he's part of the system. He's part of the matrix. He's not even the top G anymore. He can't stay on his opinions. He can't be consistent with what he's saying. He could be saying one thing here, and then he could be going to a different podcast, and they can press him, and then he would say a completely different thing. And this is the guy who used to talk about the loyalty. He was like, I am so loyal to my friends, and my friends are loyal to me. I could literally trust them with anything. Even my girls, they wouldn't do anything because I can just trust them. They're my guys, right? But now it's like, bro, you're throwing your own friends under the bus. He's scared they will attack his kids now. So that could be the thing, by the way, because he's got kids now. He's got a family. So things work differently in life, and that's the thing. But that's what Sneako believes, that just because you have kids now and you're not able to say some stuff because you don't think you'll be able to get away with it, and you have to moderate your content, that takes the right away from you to call yourself the top G. So according to me, Andrew Tate is not the top G anymore. This title has been taken off him. It's Sneako is the new top G.
Anderson, just being a little prick on the internet, like a little girl, crying about me all the time, because that's how he gets clicks.
What are you doing right now?
He gets clicks.
Okay.
And I was still like, I'll just bring whatever. And then he did it, and now he's once again trying to get clicks on my name. It's just, you know, like,
You have to.
maybe I'm from a different generation. Maybe I'm different. But let's say, you know, you and I.
By the way, that was kind of funny. Like Andrew Tate is talking to Bradley Martin, and it's like he's gonna react to it now. He already knows Sneako is gonna react to it, though. That was kind of funny.
I've done this podcast. We've done podcasts before. We've trained together. We kind of know each other. Let's say you did something that upset me. Because I once previously got along with you or liked you, I just don't talk shit.
Rose Penguin. Dude, I don't even know who Rose Cozy is, by the way. This is not the first time he's joined my stream. Like, he's joined my stream like a few times. But yeah, he's obsessed with those sort of analogies. Like, there's something going on with him. I have no idea, to be honest.
Yeah, I just don't say anything.
I think it's better to just ignore him. Just ignore
call
him.
you.
Yeah,
Be
or
honest with you.
in private.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be the kind of guy who's like, Yeah, I don't know. I see this all the time with Elon. Everyone's giving Elon a hard time because Elon says things people don't like.
Also, what he's trying to run with is that he's like, oh, I was just a nice guy. I was always good. He's always talking shit. You said that you could end my career if you wanted to. You said, if I saw you, I would have knocked you out. Then I would have helped you up. You said that all these streamers, the retards, it's a race to the bottom, birds of a feather. You have been talking shit for years too about things and criticizing me. These streamers, they need to run around with girls because they can't get attention otherwise. And then you do a podcast with Bonnie Blue. So it's like, I defend myself when you say things about me. And then you say, oh, but he's attacking me. But I understand his content. That was the mutual understanding. When you invited me.
Yeah, what's your opinion on that? By the way, Tate saying that he is a Muslim. He actually says that he's a Muslim, and you know, God actually says that you shouldn't be judging anyone, and people only God knows what's inside people's hearts. So I don't really want to judge him, but at the same time, if you look at the timing of it, he was in a trouble. He was in a very bad situation, and he needed some of the support. He was actually getting letters from the Muslim people, but he wasn't getting any letters from the Christians. So I guess this could be like a smart diplomatic decision at that time, and then he could go in Dubai, and they would actually support him. So yeah, I mean, this is possibly true that he actually used Islam for popularity. I do understand the logic, and it looks like he's straying away from what he actually believed in, or what he actually portrayed himself as like he's not actually following the religion. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect Muslim, but at the same time, at least you got to support your brethren. If you're not able to practice it, if you're not able to pray, or if you're not able to do anything like that, that's another case, right? But I think the worst form would be to completely go against it and be like, even treat your brethren like you don't belong in the same that you don't have the same agenda, you don't have the same mission, or completely being anti-Muslim, what he's been trying to portray right now, as of like all the policies that he wants to implement in the country. And anytime there's any sort of incident, anytime there's like a guy that there's any sort of murder happening in USA or Britain, and there's not even any evidence of there's not any evidence, there's no witnesses of the ethnicity of the person, but he would actually come out and say he would start posting the pictures of man on the boat, posting the picture of man with the shalwar kameez, which is like a Muslim dress. So you know what, he's not actually preaching what he actually sorry, practicing what he preaches. But you can call it fake Muslims. I mean, you can call it the fake things about them. I don't know if he actually truly believes inside his heart or not. That I don't think it's right to judge anyone, but I can judge the actions that they're taking. I can call out the fake things that he's doing right now. I can call out if he is being against the immigration, against the Muslims, if he's been portraying the victims, sorry, the prosecutors as like Muslims. That's his mistake. He's lying over there.
Me to your house. If you were this butthurt about it, you should have invited me to your house. It's not a good look.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words,
Yeah, I don't know. I see this all the time with Elon. Everyone's giving Elon a hard time because Elon says things people don't like. And everyone's constantly insulting him. And I'm like, guys, he bought Twitter for us. Just chill. Just at least say it nicely. Don't be like, you're so Jewish piece. Like, you're the only reason you even have an account is him.
Yeah, you could say thank you to Elon Musk. I'm appreciative that I got back on X. But when he's not going to talk about the Epstein files, but he's always going to talk about Pakistani grooming gangs because they're trying to talk.
See, that makes a lot of sense. That's why I don't like it. Why is he trying to support Elon that much? And why does he always suck Elon Musk? Because Elon is actually rich, and Elon has probably provided him some sort of security. That's why he's been so respectful to him. Has Elon been respectful to other people? You know, Elon is following a propaganda right now. He's got an agenda behind him. He's always talking about like grooming gangs, but he doesn't talk about anything else. He talks about immigration a lot. He talks about like the attacks that happen, and we find out later on that it's not even a Muslim guy. It's not even an immigrant. It's a person living in Britain. It's a citizen of Britain that actually committed the attack. But Elon's actually going to be the one, always going to be the one favoring the other side. So then I think if people are calling Elon out on Twitter, there's nothing wrong with it. And Andrew Tate is like, oh, you got to be thankful to him for free speech. Okay, we can be thankful to him for one thing, but when we're discussing the topic, we're talking about something else. We can be actually against him, and we don't have to be super respectful to him. Why do we have to be respectful to him if we know he's completely on the other side and he's got agenda behind him? If he's working on like a propaganda, why do I have to support him?
Target Muslims because they want to scapegoat Muslims while people are criticizing Israel. I'm going to talk about that. It's not like, oh, you don't appreciate Elon. You want me to glaze him completely? Yeah, he makes mistakes. He says things that are incorrect. He also got people back on X. There's good and bad with everybody. But I'm not going to turn a blind eye. You should show blind loyalty. No, actually, I want to escape the matrix. I want to resist the slave mind. This is the people who try to scapegoat Muslims so that we can go to war in Iraq, so that we can go to war in Iran, weapons of mass destruction, Pakistani grooming gangs to redirect attention while they continue to bomb. That's what the Matrix is. That's why people think Muslims, they say death to America. They say death to America because we have been sending all this money to Israel to fight their wars. Oh, they...
Okay, does that make any sense to you actually? Look. We've seen many, many times. In case of Andrew Tate, when it's about a woman, it's like, we need to escape the matrix. We need to treat women the way they need to get treated. When it's about like another community, he's like, oh, we need to escape the matrix. We need to do that. But when it actually comes to the people in power, when it comes to the billionaires, when it comes to Elon Musk, who's actually promised Andrew Tate so many things, why doesn't he talk about escaping the matrix now? Why does he join the matrix when it comes to that? Because matrix is actually this. This is a bigger matrix that we're talking about. So right now he's like, oh, Elon is my friend. Elon, this guy does not even get to sit with Elon when I'm in the conference with or if there's like a party going on. Elon invites me sometimes. We're in the same room and we're cracking jokes and we're sitting close to each other. But this guy doesn't get to do all of this. So is that like the main mission? Do we want to be at the same place? Like fuck Elon Musk, bro. Like obviously good for Elon Musk for actually bringing back Twitter. That's a good thing, but at the same time, if he's doing any wrong things, we can be against him and we can be critical of him. So what about this matrix? What about escaping this
They
matrix?
hate Americans, yeah, because we went to Iraq, killed 1 million people, and then realized, oopsie doopsie, we were wrong. That's what the Matrix is. And you want to be like, but I want to network with Elon. That's not how it works.
This new generation has no respect. It's just weird to me that you'll beg to see a guy,
Nigga, nobody
see
begs.
him, cause a scene,
You invite
and then
me
be a
back.
prick about it afterwards.
Okay.
I'm just like, who are these kids? You know when the old people used to be like, these kids have no respect. It's kind of like that. These children are just retarded. If you say to these kids, hey, you can get views for this, I swear they'll chop their heads off. I swear. It's like not control. Yeah. It's not control. And
Well, it goes back to kind of what we were talking
Remember,
about.
Tate? I think it's time we bring the Nazi salute back. Saying anything for clips. You know what's ultra funny too is like he's gonna go on a high ground and be like, okay, saying edgy stuff is immature and everything. As soon as you got pushback from everybody for selling out and apologizing on PBD, immediately you tweet after the Burger King hat, be like, oh look, I'm edgy, I can say slurs. Real N-word Tate. Real N-word. You sold the crypto coin with the hard R in it because it was edgy and it was cool and it got clicks.
Okay, there you see another hypocrisy from Andrew Tate. Like Andrew Tate always talks about like saying edgy stuff. You know when the H song actually came out, Andrew Tate was the one who actually played that in the Bugatti. He uploaded a video with this, and then he's talking about like bringing back the Nazi salute. He's talking about all of this stuff because he wants to be edgy, right? Even when he's selling crypto, he's selling with the hard R because he wants to be edgy. And I was like, these kids, these streamers will do anything for the clicks. You know what? You've been doing that, bro.
Your bio is like, I have a Somali daycare. I don't care about she, they. It's the same exact thing that you're saying other people are doing.
So what are the other ways to do it now?
there's no other way.
Yeah.
That's right. And truth isn't shocking anymore, so you have to be shocking to be shocking. And there's no way to make money anymore, so
Bro,
you have to try and do it on the internet.
Like,
so these kids
is it not ridiculous hearing him be like, whoa, shocking, shocking. I think it's time we bring the Nazi salute back. Like, why are you even trying to do this? Why you blew up saying that women can't drive?
Yeah, so I am actually, bro, I am from Pakistan, but I am living in UK at the moment. What about yourself?
Shock jock stuff, provocative, making fun of women, calling women whores, like Okay.
Really desperate, like starving children for any reason. Like, what he's gonna do is now take this clip and react to it, right? And he's gonna be like, yes.
And you know why you keep going to this podcast store?
Oh, no way. I am from England and I live in England too. Oh, you're from England as well? Which part of England are you from, by the way? I'm from London.
Because you're
I'm
trying
from London and I live in like southern part of London, so towards south.
to win. You're trying to like get the narrative on your side, and it's not gonna work, bro. That's why I'm top G. You can keep going on this podcast.
Oh, you're actually from Luton, bro. That's where Andrew Tate is from. So I'm actually going against your boy. But that's a guy I supported for like a long, long time. But it's like I feel like he's getting a bit inconsistent right now. So yeah, what's the generic opinion, Luton? Like Luton's got to have a lot of people that are like Andrew Tate fans. He's got to have a lot of fans, right? Because he was born and raised over there. So what's your opinion? What's the generic opinion, Luton, about Andrew Tate?
A song and continue. I'm going to defend myself. You're saying I'm doing it for clicks. You and your brother are trying to scapegoat me to take the pressure off of you because, oh, I'm more famous and that means that I'm better. No. You don't.
Oh, you actually went to the same college as him? Wow, cool. How do you find Luton, by the way? And what's your opinion on London? What's your opinion on like the life in London, the security, overall the lifestyle? Do you think it's quite expensive? What's your opinion on the transport and all of this? I would say the youth are more fans of him, but the older generation doesn't like him. I know the older generation is not going to like him, most probably because most of them are probably Christians as well, right? And they believe that he doesn't actually follow the values because he doesn't support like the marriage system. Like he's talking about having the wife and having the kids, but he doesn't talk about actually taking care of the wife. Maybe financially he does, but he doesn't believe in like the one family system, sort of like a family system where you could spend time with your wife and your kids. And he probably does a lot of that stuff for comedy, to be honest, where he's like, oh, women can't drive, or women can't do those things. And you can't be giving too much time to women. And when he talks about the kids, it's like, I'm going to see my kid one time. And then when he turns 18, then I'll go back and see him again, but I'll pay for him.
You don't got to put all the blame on me and then get mad when I defend myself. You don't get to lie about the situation and cry over a song and think that I'm just not going to tell the truth about what happened, that I'm not going to try to clear my name. You must be out your damn mind.
It's just gay. It's just gay, bro. It's like it's so gay, bro. It's out of control. They have no respect, and they're risking their personal physical safety to do it, and they're risking all their relationships to do it. The thing that's so
I want to talk to Rose actually. Rose, why are you only restricted to human beings, by the way? Yeah, you know what? I don't think human beings are enough for you. That's why my suggestion is move towards the animals now. You're saying I want Indians, I want Andrew Tate. Why not go for animals? I think you should be talking about animals right now. I want a horse, I want an elephant, I want a whale, I want those things. I want aliens. Talk about that. Why is there two Wolfpack accounts? Oh, by the way, me and my friend actually, so we made like an MMA team, so we trained together. And we were like, okay, we're gonna name our team as Wolfpack. And we have some other people in the team as well, by the way. There's a guy named Anthony, there's other guy as well that I train with sometimes. So we're like all of us are like Wolfpack, but we should probably have like a YouTube presence as well. So I was the first one to actually make an account. But then Fike, who's also part of the Wolfpack, he's like, okay, I'm gonna make an account as well. So he's uploading a lot of technique videos on his account. And by the way, you can check our accounts as well, like watch the videos on the account. We do upload like a technique videos. His account is more technique based. I would say he's got a lot of like most of his videos are actually technique based, but now he's producing a bit of like analysis content as well. Whereas mine, I kind of like upload like different type of things, like the technique and the other stuff as well. But his account is like much more newer than mine, so I think he's gonna be able to build like a wider audience as well in terms of like, okay, there's an audience that follows his technique, there's an audience that follows his analysis and stuff. Wolfpack, you should block Rose. I blocked him too. Yeah, you guys should probably block him. Should probably block him. I don't know what's going on with him, to be honest. Rose Tap. I actually became Muslim around the same time he did too. Um, Okay, yeah. All right. Did you get influenced by him in some way? By the way, and how much knowledge do you have Islam about Islam, and how are you finding it? By the way, because if you just accepted Islam like a few years ago, like how are you finding the transformations? Got to be tough at some point, I guess.
CZ's not even listening, Rose.
And they're risking their personal physical safety to do it. And they're risking all their relationships to do it. The thing that's so crazy and stupid and short-sighted.
That's what resisting the slave mind is, Andrew. That's what escaping the matrix is. Yes, you get banned everywhere. Yes, you face cancellation. Yes,
Yeah, man. Mashallah, bro.
you might have haters. Yes, it's not going to be easy, but this is what resistance fighters, that's what it's supposed to be. And compared to the actual resistance fighters, the ones in Palestine, this is nothing. I'm a streamer. What, I say things that are true and that it upsets the mayor? You're going to say all this stuff. You're not going to say I'm wrong. Yeah, I might put myself at risk, but that's the point. Somebody needs to do it. That's what being a top G is. I'm Morpheus. Morpheus was the guy fighting against the Matrix.
It's pretty hard for me. I'm trying to be more religious, but it's hard. I need to find a masjid to go to. Yeah, I mean, dude, there's a couple in London actually. I don't know about Luton to be honest. I've never been. I've probably been to Luton like one time, but I've never spent a lot of time. And even that was with somebody, so I don't even remember the routes. I don't know exactly where the mosques are in Luton. But I think there should be like a decent community in Luton to be honest. Mm.
If you want to tap out, if you want to hang up the gloves, hang up the gloves. Don't go on this apology tour and cry about it. Just move on and give up then. Somebody needs to do it. Oh, you're going to put yourself at risk. Yeah, that's what happens. Everybody in history who's told the truth has put themselves at risk. You thought this was new information?
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
The thing that's so crazy and stupid and short-sighted is that I'm so much better a friend than an enemy. You get clicks by insulting me, whatever, but if you weren't a dickhead and you worked with me, you'd be a million times bigger. That's the thing that's just so ridiculous.
What kind of MMA do you do? So we do like mixed martial arts, man. We practice sort of everything. So I go to Great Britain Top Team GBT. That's where I take most of my classes. So might take jujitsu sometime, might take wrestling. MMA is like mixed martial arts, so we do different arts. Might do kickboxing sometime, boxing, MMA classes, setting up the takedowns and all of this stuff. And then me and my friend Fike, the other Wolfpack account, we actually train in the gym sometimes. We would practice some of the techniques like grappling and stuff. So I don't know how much you watch UFC and how much you know about MMA. Did you watch the fight last night, by the way? It was Patty was fighting Gaethje. And Fike is like, I will suggest even there isn't masjid nearby, keep reading Quran, it will guide us well. Yeah, try to get more knowledge. Like read Quran, read I don't know if there's any YouTubers that you're actually following. Don't take them for their word, by the way, because they might just be lying. But there's like a few YouTubers that you can actually follow, get a bit of a knowledge. But at the same time, whatever they're saying, just pick up the references and actually try to find it in the Quran or try to find it in the actual books yourself. So you know that they're just like a confirmation of what they're saying. Is that right or is that wrong? I like the Muslim Lantern. He's smart. I probably don't even know him to be honest. Let me just pull him up. The Muslim Lantern. Oh, I feel like I have I've seen him. I've seen him. He's probably got like a few videos on like Palestine and stuff as well. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So
They're very short-sighted people. But I guess, I'm glad they are because you don't want fake friends in the world. But yeah, it's just, it's gay. So
Yeah, fair.
Snitch, it was live stream. Yeah, watch back the live stream. It wasn't me who said to play it in the club. It's incredible. Like it's first off, it's just a song. It doesn't matter. But two, that's what they're trying to do. They keep trying to put the blame on somebody. And it's fine. They can say that, but I'll tell the truth and I'll defend the song.
I'll be back in a minute.
It is live streaming. You can see the clip is going around about. out who actually played it. Because the club, that was what got people fired. You know, that was what got people banned. That's what got people banned from clubs in Miami. It wasn't the Sprinter van thing. What got people in trouble was what happened in the club. You guys are saying, oh, he never liked you, he never liked you. You know, I don't even think that's true. And I'm not saying you're going to say, like, you're looking for validation. No, because if you see the way the conversations were, not only in Romania.
If you're asking about my personal opinion, I think they're the people of God, man, to be honest. All of us are people of God. So if you're following religion, I would say you're more for people of God. But even if you don't follow any religion, it's like you're still people of God. You're just probably strayed away from your path. That's the thing, right? Even if you're an atheist, you don't believe in God, God still created everybody. And there is a chance, there is a potential you could come back to God. So with the Jews, if you're talking about like the Judaism, that was an actual religion. That was a religion before Christianity. And I mean, if you're talking about the scriptures right now, like the scripture is probably not in its purest form right now. Like I think in Talmud it actually says that if you're part of the Judaism, if you're a Jew, then you should only be loyal to your Jews, but to other people you can actually lie, you can actually steal, you can actually hurt them in any way. You can be disloyal to them, to those people. You can lie to them. You can steal from them, dude. And there's like a progression of your own society. Like you need to get better, but you don't need to worry about anybody else. There's I don't know the exact references, but that's actually in their book. I can actually pull up like a few verses as well. So I think that's probably not in its purest form right now. Uh, but let me see if I can find anything. Mm-mm. Okay, I'm trying to find it right now. I think good and bad apple in every ethnicity. That is kind of true. Mm, 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 mm. When you know, just Okay, so by the way, it is permissible to steal from a non-Jew according to the Torah law. It is for this reason that if one betroths a woman using an object stolen from a non-Jew, that the woman is considered married. So that is pretty crazy, guys, by the way. That is pretty crazy. So there's different type of teachings actually that are suggesting different things. So they're saying it seems that from the Rama that the prohibition to steal from a non-Jew is only rabbinic. However, it is permissible to steal from a non-Jew according to Torah law. It is for this reason that if one betroths a woman using an object stolen from a non-Jew, that the woman is considered married. I don't even know what that means. And by the way, I want to ask you guys one question. By the way, now we're looking at Torah and we're looking at the laws in Torah, right? I want to ask you about something about the Iranian laws as well. What do you think about the Iranian regime and their civilians actually not supporting the government? They're wanting somebody else to actually take over. What do you think about the whole thing? And do you know in Iran, by the way, there's a law that if a woman actually is accused of doing something and that warrants like a death penalty or something, according to the government, then that woman should get raped before actually killing her. So before punishing her with like the death penalty, that woman should be raped according to the Iranian government. This is such a messed up law. You know why they actually say that? Because they say that if you're a virgin and then you're dying, that is so messed up. You know, they're saying that if you're a virgin and then you get a death penalty, there's a chance you could actually go to heaven because you're a virgin. So they want to make sure that you don't actually go to heaven. So they actually rape you before that. So now you're not a virgin anymore. It is such a messed up law. And that's, I have confirmed that from many Iranian people. Actually, I have a colleague, Iranian colleague in the office as well, that I talk to sometimes, and they discuss that. But again, that is such a messed up representation of Islam. Like, I don't even know where they brought it from, because in Islam, I don't think it says that in any book or even in any hadith actually. So that's just like a made up thing. Mhm. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Andrew Tate.
But also in the party, you don't get that vibe at all. You don't get that, especially like it's the same thing for all these other A-logs and these haters, people who always just dedicate their careers to talking the way Tate's talking. In person, they're always really friendly and they say positive things. They start seething and they start doing this like hater thing when they see my content online. And I think it's because what I say, it reflects a mirror on somebody. Right? I do my best to see truth through funny and be completely authentic and expose double standards, hypocrisies, ego, stuff like that. And that, what I say, makes people self-reflect. And when they have to do internal thinking, they start to get really angry. That's why you see the difference, because people are confused, like, wait, what? You guys are all cool. It's because in person, people like that. They see somebody who's trying to be pure. But online, it makes them fucking pissed off that they have to think.
By the way, what do you guys think about the ICE shooting? The new one of Alex Peretti. What's your opinion on that? I think it's a pretty terrible incident. I think that cannot be justified in any way, and conservatives can always find a way to justify it by saying that it was self-defense, when you could see that there were like 8 ICE officers over there who were brutally dealing with the woman, and then Alex Peretti actually stepped in to just help the woman out. He was trying to defend her. That's what he did. He had a gun in his hand. Or probably not even in his hand. He had a gun in his pocket, and he was allowed to hold it according to the Second Amendment. Americans have the right to actually hold the firearms if they have a certificate, and that's what he had. And man, 6 people actually pinned him down, and then outrageous, pinned him down, and then one guy shot him. They disarmed him, and then after that, 6 more bullets to him for no reason. By the way, to a dead body. It's kind of brutal, man. I think ICE should be abolished. Like, there was a time when I was like, maybe there are just too many illegal immigrants. Maybe America should take some sort of action. But like, you see this sort of stuff, and you're like, this is not helping out the country in any. It is dividing the country. It is completely dividing the country. And some people actually might say that it's to distract the attention from the Epstein files, because we saw there were so many blacked out files. They've only released 1% of the Epstein files. So what is actually going on? It's kind of insane. Let's watch more content on the ICE shooting. Actually,
people say I think outside the box. I'm thinking inside the box. Don't use it, sell it.
Soul and Icy. You need to see it too.
Well, for Piers Morgan, it's deja vu all over again in the very worst possible way, because the second brutal murder of an American citizen in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the hands of the Trump administration has forced Donald Trump's long-suffering British BFF into the awkward position of publicly condemning the Trump administration and indirectly Trump himself for this fiasco. Piers recently did it just a couple of weeks ago following the murder of Renee Good, and now following the murder of Alex Preddy, he's doing it again, and he's doing it.
What's your opinion on Piers Morgan, by the way? So after the first shooting, Pierce actually thought it was a brutal attack and that woman should not have died. But in the guy's defense, I'm talking about Renee Good attack. In guy's defense, Pierce was actually saying that if you look at the circumstances, 6 months prior to the attack, this guy was actually hit by a pedestrian on the road. So he actually does think that that guy was under some sort of like PTSD or something like this. So he wasn't thinking straight in the moment. Did he have enough training? Should that have happened? He should have never done it because the car was actually moving around. That woman was not actually trying to kill him. She was moving on the side completely. And then when he shot her, actually, she was not even coming straight. She has already taken a turn, and then he shot her like twice again. So that was pretty bad. But that was Pierce's point of view on that. That was his final take on that. So he did understand it from the guy's point of view, but he was like, it's completely brutal and it was unnecessary. That should have never happened. But now with this one, I think even Pierce is gonna freak out. And from the tweet, it does look like he's completely abolishing the Trump administration. He's condemning it right now. And I think they're gonna lose a lot of support. Like there's guys who always find a way to actually support it. I know from the conservative side. I think this one is going to be very hard to tackle from anyone.
From the position of having recently broken his femur and having a
Yeah, dude. Pepper spraying, just harassing people. It's insane.
hip replacement. So he says that this is motivating him to do a new episode of Piers Morgan Uncensored tomorrow in which this topic is discussed. But in the meantime, he's had a lot to say on social media, and we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe.
Okay, Piers is saying, by the way, he's going to be discussing that. He's going to be discussing that on his show, but I also know that he's got Sneako on his show tomorrow, so he might actually discuss some of that with Sneako too. They should be less violent. Bro, I think they should be abolished. I don't think they should exist. There was a time when I supported some of the activities. I was like, maybe there's a lot of people that are actually coming to America, right? We know there's millions of immigrants, but not because Trump has put so many restrictions. People are not even trying to enter the country. So that's a problem. Because you know why they're so violent in their actions? Because of multiple reasons. First of all, in the Biden administration, there was a lot of people actually coming to the country. So it was easier for them to actually deport some of the people from the country as well. Now, because Trump has given such hard ultimatums, most of the people are not even coming to the country. They don't want to come to the country. How are you going to find 10 million immigrants? You know, that's the promise actually made, that we're going to deport 10 million immigrants. Now they're trying to find them, but they can't actually find them. So they're actually just harassing people so they can forcibly find someone. And because Trump has given them so much power, he's told them that you're allowed to shoot anyone as long as you assess there's a sort of threat going on. But the thing is, if you're the one actually assessing it, you can actually make up anything. Like you can actually murder anyone, and then you can say, oh, I assessed that I had a threat, that that guy was holding a gun, he was going to shoot me or whatever, right? There's so many things that can go on. So I just think that it's not viable anymore with the culture. That's not happening. The perpetrator of the attacks, they can choose any sort of excuse as the modes of violence, and there wouldn't be much that you would be able to say.
Subscribe and alert bells before you go. All right, just a couple of things. Piers Morgan recently broke his femur. And I believe had to have hip replacement, and it delayed episodes of Piers Morgan Uncensored, which is why we've not seen anything about the shooting or a lot of other things that have happened over the past week. But he says there will be an episode from home tomorrow in which this topic is discussed, and I am interested in what he has to say. Also, speaking of which, I know every time I do a Piers video, some people in the comments, understandably, they're annoyed by Piers, and they're like, why are you platforming him? Why are you talking about him? What does this mean? Number one, Piers Morgan's a lot bigger than me. I'm proud of the success of this channel, but he is much bigger than I am, which means by definition I'm not platforming him. Number two, He is extremely influential in the space, whether you like it or not. He just is, which means what he says matters and merits scrutiny because it has a ripple effect in terms of shaping political narratives, okay?
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep track of all my tasks. I start by brain dumping everything I need to get done in a list.
Number 3, given that he is a prominent Trump
They are
supporter
actually
who grades Trump on a curve in
only
almost
42
frustrating
days of
ways,
training,
when
that's,
he
by the way.
folds and turns against Trump or criticizes Trump is really interesting to note because it identifies a fissure that liberals, progressives, and Democrats need to identify and potentially exploit to win over independents or Trump-supporting independents or people who supported Trump in the past. So I believe wholeheartedly that there's merit to covering his criticism of Trump, scant as it is, relatively speaking. So let's start with this. Following the brutal murder of Alex Preddy in Minnesota, Piers Morgan's first response was, this is going to spark another firestorm. And then today, he's really unleashed. In response to Mark Levin from Fox News saying, why did Preddy bring a gun and ammo where he knew he would likely be a part of a group physically confronting ICE during a lawful execution and detention and removal order? Why was he even carrying his weapon? And all these things, right? Just what typical MAGA Fox host.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. Mark Levin is tweeting about this, and he's saying that when he knew it was going to be part of it, when he knew that ICE was going to be raiding him, why was he carrying a gun? Dude, ICE is not giving you any sort of ultimatum. They're not telling you that we're going to be actually coming to invade you or anything like this. And by the way, they were not, I'm not even sure if they were actually coming for him. They were coming for the lady. They were coming, and he said if it was going to be a part of the group that the ICE would be coming from, this is insane. Holy shit.
Do, making all the excuses for the Trump administration and putting the blame on American citizens. Piers responds with this. He goes, I'm confused. Wasn't he exercising his lawful right to bear arms under the Second Amendment? And isn't the logical response to his death, therefore, that every other protester should now arm themselves too for self-defense? That would stop these shootings happening, right? Of course, Piers, and I will give him his credit here, has been a longstanding critic of America's gun culture and its Second Amendment enthusiast. That was from.
By the way, guys, conservatives always talk about the Second Amendment. This could lead to a civil war. I don't want that to happen, man, because I think that shit doesn't help. But it just seems like it might actually lead to a civil war because the civilians are actually getting fed up with this bullshit. They don't want any part of it. And when they know that there are no policies that can actually protect them, they might have to resort to that. I'm not advocating for any sort of violence, but you never know. By the way, this thing that a Second Amendment that citizens have the right to bear firearms as long as they have the license. You know why the Second Amendment actually came into existence? There was a time when the government was taking advantage of them. People were oppressed. So that's when there was a law that was actually passed that citizens would have the right to bear firearms, so actually for self-defense. So could we not apply the situation in this sense? When ICE shooters actually come into you, they're part of the government. They're the ones implementing the policies, but they're oppressing you. They're not using any sort of law to actually implement the policies. Shouldn't you have the right to actually bear the firearms? It's already just only one side is fighting right now. That is kind of true, to be honest. Like, you could call this a civil war. You could call this, but yeah, kind of like that.
From his CNN days and beyond, he had a famous debate with Ben Shapiro probably 10 or 15 years ago on CNN about this. So he's right to ask those questions because, of course, Mark Levin and most MAGA cultists are not principled Second Amendment gun rights enthusiasts. They don't give it in. We're going to do a separate video about that where that's really put on display. They want guns to resist liberal governments or to think about violently resisting liberal governments, democratic governments.
See, they want the guns to restrict liberal governments. That's why they want the guns. But when it's the conservative government actually doing the same thing, should you not have the right to actually protect yourself? Why doesn't America just abolish all the guns and be like, okay, citizens do not have the right to use guns. They do not have the right to actually hold the firearms. I think that will solve a lot of issues, a lot of crimes as well, a lot of deaths, man. America's death rate is pretty high. UK is pretty low compared to that. We have stabbings going on. It's not like we don't have any criminals, but it's because of the guns. Because with the gun, you can kill multiple people, number of people. With stabbings, it's only like a few people, one person, two person. Maybe it's better to just like get rid of that law.
They don't want black people to have guns. They don't want liberals to have guns. They certainly don't want people to be armed in any way which potentially threatens or offends a conservative government or Republican government. They are wildly unprincipled, and that is what Piers Morgan is exposing. So after that, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem issues this statement. We're going to play this clip because Piers
Kristi
reacts to
Noem.
it on social media. This is, of course, what that lying sack of shit Kristi Noem had to say in one of her first public statements following Preddy's murder. And then we'll get to Piers' response.
Individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow...
Dude, so many lies. I cannot even believe this. This is Kristi Noem talking about this. She's like, the suspect actually approached the ICE officers with a 9mm gun, and the officers actually tried to tackle him, but he tried to kill. Oh my God. Officers tried to unarm him. Do you not see that in the video? There's a video from all different angles. Have you guys not watched any video? Bro, they're gonna get exposed so badly. I myself have watched the video from multiple angles. This guy did not even touch the gun. He wasn't gonna do anything. And does it look like he was looking for the officers? He's not looking for the officers. He's doing his own thing. When the woman gets pushed and he gets on top of the woman to like protect her and stuff. That is so, bro, such a high level bullshit, to be honest. Like, she's just making that up on the top of her head. I'm pretty sure she hasn't even watched the video. She hasn't even watched the video.
Fellow officers around him. An agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene.
Agents fired defensive shot? Dude, they fired 6 shots after he was dead. What the fuck are you talking about?
Immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had
he
two
was dead after the
magazines
first
with
shot.
ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on...
He also has no ID. What do you mean, no ID? Not everybody holds that. Like, I don't hold my ID all the time.
...individuals and to kill law enforcement. About hundreds of protesters then showed up at the scene.
We are not a traditional cafe. We're completely unconventional.
This is terrible,
My
man.
website really
It's
has to
just...
capture the same magic.
So, just incredibly disgusting and dishonest. If this been fact-checked to hell and back, police confirmed Alex Preddy was a U.S. citizen with a gun permit, and his gun was removed prior...
He's a U.S. citizen. So first of all, he's got an ID, okay? Maybe he didn't have the ID in his pocket, but he does have an ID because he's a U.S. citizen with a gun license. He does have a gun license, okay?
to officers fatally shooting him to death. Video evidence shows that Alex Preddy never drew the gun. In response to this, Piers Morgan says, such a disingenuous horseshit. Fair enough. Of course, a lot of MAGA supporters and Trump supporters didn't like that, so he went in and responded. Somebody said, such disingenuous horseshit, were you actually there, Piers? And Piers said this, I know what I've seen in all the available videos. So do you. Whether you choose to pretend it's not what your own eyes tell you,
You know, Pierce actually does have a big platform, and I would be very happy if Pierce can actually influence people in the right direction, because, I mean, Pierce can actually, he's a smart guy, man. Like, I know he presses people, he asks the same question like multiple times, but that's to get the views on the videos that he's actually posting. But I think if he actually puts his mind to it, actually, he can watch all the videos, he can gather all the evidence himself. If he can see the truth in it, he's a big influential person. He can actually influence a lot of people. He's got to choose the right path.
it's up to you. Somebody else responded, said he was a radical domestic terrorist who tried to pull a gun on federal agents. But don't believe your lying eyes. Believe Trump deranged psychopath Piers Morgan. And it's so funny that people would call Piers Morgan, of all people, a Trump deranged psychopath. Now, I would argue Piers Morgan does have TDS. It's just the true, actual, valid TDS, which is when you see Donald Trump doing something terrible and you feel the reflexive need to make excuses for it. That's the real prevalent TDS.
Yeah, out of all the people that are going to be going against Piers Morgan, like, that's the guy who's always been on against the liberals. And he's supportive of the Trump administration. He gives a lot of platform to the Trump administration. Honestly, he always has conservatives on his channels. He had Matt Walsh. He gets Ben Shapiro. He gets like other guys, right? So I don't know what's going on here.
Yes, it exists in this country, and it is pathetic. And Piers does suffer, I won't say stage 4 TDS, but stage 2, perhaps 3, maybe 2. I'll go 2, because he, again, does criticize Trump often, just not nearly enough. He still grades Trump on a curve. Very ironic that somebody would say something like that. To which Piers said, "Of course he did. You keep telling yourself that. P.S. It's Piers, not Pierce." Okay? Somebody else responded and said, "Piers, if you take a gun to protest law enforcement carrying out their democratically elected mandate, then you aren't very smart. Death is always tragedy, of course, but there are lessons to be learned here." To which Piers said, "Did you support Kyle Rittenhouse?" And again, of course this guy did. Of course he did. But that was Kyle Rittenhouse as a young conservative, potentially shooting what the MAGA believed to be liberal protesters or liberal rioters or progressive protesters, progressive rioters. Then it's okay as far as MAGA is concerned. Then the Second Amendment applies. Of course it does. Now, sure, for years they told us that
Looking at the double standards, when is the Kyle Rittenhouse actually doing the shooting? That is completely fine. The Second Amendment, MAGA, yes, we're MAGA supporters.
true purpose of the Second Amendment is to overthrow a tyrannical government. Oh shit, the tyrannical government's right wing, it's conservative, it's MAGA. Oh, you don't get to do that. You don't even get to have guns. That's just for those of us who love the tyrannical government. Again, so unprincipled, and they deserve nothing but your contempt. To which Piers responded, actually, oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the second thing I want to show you here in just a second. But yeah, that's why he's asking about the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, right? Because, of course, again, a lot of MAGA supported Kyle Rittenhouse. And listen, Kyle Rittenhouse was found found not guilty in his court proceedings, right? The court determined that what he did was a valid use of self-defense. It was a justifiable homicide. But again, MAGA's principles shift. Now, last thing I want to show you is actually two more, but is a response to Eric Erickson. Eric Erickson is somebody I've been picking on a lot too, because he's a relatively principled and intelligent conservative commentator. I say relatively speaking, because of course he does what every Trump supporter has to do, which is create cognitive dissonance, create Trump on a curve. But he's even more likely than Beers to criticize Donald Trump. Eric Erickson is, and so he posted this link to a Wall Street Journal, the conservative Wall Street Journal, sister publication of Fox News. Piers worked for Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox News in the United Kingdom. And Eric points out, the Wall Street Journal review concludes Preddy did not pull his gun on agents or brandish his gun at all. And we'll probably talk about that in a separate video about Kristi Noem having a conversation with Fox News. But it is worth noting that, yeah, the conservative Wall Street Journal, sister publication of Fox, debunks Kristi Noem and the Trump administration's lies.
Okay, we're talking about the Wall Street Journal, by the way. Do you wanna believe them? They completely debunk Kristi Noem claim that the guy was actually pulling up the gun. They couldn't find any evidence from the video. They watched the video from different angles. They could not find a single evidence. He is not pointing a gun at them.
Which Piers says, of course he didn't. And those saying he did, no, he didn't. So Piers is calling anybody, including Donald Trump, by the way, a liar, a knowing liar. Let's see if he has that energy when Piers Morgan Uncensored returns tomorrow. And on that note, I'll conclude with this. Somebody says, we're waiting on you to do a show on this, Piers. Get back to work. And he responds and says, I'll be doing just that from my home tomorrow. The first Piers Uncensored episodes with my new hip, whilst on opioids, with quite a lot of pain, should be interesting. Now, again, whether you
so because Piers is back from the hospital now, but he's still injured, so he's going to be doing the show from home tomorrow. And that's when he's going to be discussing this ICE incidents, and he's also going to have Sneako on his show. So I wonder if he's going to have two separate shows, or if he's going to be doing one show with the Sneako, but he can actually discuss that with Sneako as well, because Sneako is pretty active politically these days, and I think he's going to have opinions on this too.
Like him or not, and I understand why a lot of people don't, he's extremely frustrating to me. I think it merits covering Piers' response. He's not a no-namer. He's incredibly influential. He has simultaneously kissed Trump's ass, and that's actually his natural instinct, but also has publicly pushed back on him. He facilitates extremely important.
Okay, by the way, do you guys watch UFC? Do you watch UFC? I don't know if you're still watching the video. Do you watch UFC? If you watch UFC, I mean, I can also do like a pre-fight analysis of UFC 325, the next UFC that is coming, by the way. We can do a bit of pre-fight analysis, unless there's another news that you guys want to discuss. I'm gonna pull up. Oh, you watch a little UFC. Oh, who's your favorite fighter, by the way? Did you watch the Justin Gaethje fight? Man, I loved the fight. I didn't think it was like the most technical fight because I think the game plan was out of the window for both of them. But Justin Gaethje, dude, the highlight reel, man, that guy's a bad motherfucker. He's the real deal, bro. So we go UFC 325, Volkanovski versus Lopez. I'm gonna pull up the card of Volkanovski versus Lopez. I say my favorite is Mighty Mouse. Mighty Mouse, you're gonna have to put him on the GOAT list. He's pretty high on my GOAT list. I think he's like number 3 on the GOAT list of my GOAT list. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff, man. Mighty Mouse, some people actually argue that he didn't face the best competition in UFC, but the guy had 11 title defenses in the UFC. He beat the best of the best. Then he went to ONE FC. In ONE FC, he won the championship. He had like 5 fights in one championship, and I think he lost only like one fight. He had the rest of them were wins. And then he also had a fight with Rotang, which was like a mixed rules fight. So you're fighting like a high level kickboxer. So the first round was kickboxing, the second round was MMA. DJ just survived the first round because that was the whole purpose. That was the whole mission, to survive the first round, kickboxing one. And the second round, MMA, he just kind of took him down, got his back, choked him. All right, so we are discussing the main card now. You have Alexander Volkanovski. You have going against Diego Lopez, and then you have Dan Hooker going against Benoit Saint-Denis, and then you have Rafael Fiziev. That is the main card against Mauricio Rufy. So let's start with the man. It's so fun, bro. It is so fun. It is so fun. All right, guys. Now we got a couple of UFC fans. Now we can discuss the Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Who do you guys pick to win this fight? I got Volkanovski in this one, and I know Wolfpack. We had conversations before, and you actually believe that Lopez is gonna win this fight because the first fight was kind of Lopez was getting dominated, but he kind of did hurt Volkanovski at some point, and I think you believe that he's gonna put it on him in the start, and then Volkanovski this time would not have a chance to actually recover this time, which I don't agree with. I think Volkanovski is going to be very smart throughout the fight. He's a very hard guy to catch, and it's very hard to take him down because of the center of gravity as well. He's pretty low, and he's got good takedown defense. I think he's going to fight very smart. He's going to keep the distance. He's going to kick the legs. And then in the pocket, he wouldn't trade for too long because Lopez hits very hard in the pocket. He's going to throw a couple of shots and then move around again, start moving around, chop the legs, and then mix in the takedowns at the end of the round. And he's going to try to keep himself safe because Lopez is pretty dangerous even from the bottom. So Volkanovski is not going to try to spend a lot of time in the guard. He might drop him, take him down, get back up, do something again. You actually think Lopez has got it? Dude, I mean, first of all, I don't think Lopez actually deserved the fight. I think it should have been somebody else. I think it should have been like Movsar, or it should have been Lerron Murphy actually getting the title fight. Lopez does have a chance. He hits pretty hard. That is the only chance I see. His jiu-jitsu is good, but I just don't think it's good enough to actually submit Volkanovski. And Volkanovski is a very hard guy to submit. So it's a potential, it's a possibility. We'll see what happens. But anyway, second fight is Dan Hooker is actually fighting Benoit Saint-Denis. Pretty quick turnaround for Dan Hooker actually, because this guy just fought recently with Arman Tsarukyan, and now he's fighting next week with Benoit Saint-Denis. I mean, these are the guys who are actually they could get back in the title picture, and UFC is actually trying to build Benoit Saint-Denis because Benoit is actually on a bit of a streak now. So if Benoit actually wins this, they might actually give Benoit to Arman Tsarukyan. But I don't agree with this. I think you should probably get Patty, maybe. That would make more of a sense. So you have Benoit Saint-Denis versus Dan Hooker. Who would actually win this fight? I'm not really sure about it. I think Dan Hooker's defense is good enough to actually stop the grappling from Benoit. And on the feet, it would be pretty even. Benoit would have a bit of a speed advantage, but he's not the most technical guy either. So Dan Hooker could actually take it. You know what? I don't really know, to be honest. If I have to put my money on it, I think I need to watch a few fights. And that'll make my definitive decision. Benoit is in a bit of a role. He's got a bit of a momentum behind him, whereas Dan Hooker is kind of on a losing streak. So Benoit is kind of favored in this fight, I would say, but I don't want to give my final pick at the moment. I just think it's not going to be. I just think it's going to be a close fight. I just don't think it's going to be a quick knockout. Okay, you have Fiziev versus Rufy. Man, that is stylistically one of the best fights. Rufy does so many things weird. These fighting nerds are good, man. Like you just saw Gene Silva fighting last week. These guys do amazing things. They fight in a different way. They're pretty tricky. They're artistic in what they do. Rafael Fiziev is one of the most dangerous striker. He doesn't have the reach on Rufi. Rufi is pretty long, pretty tall. Fiziev is pretty tight, but he's a very good Muay Thai fighter. So I think it's going to be interesting. There's not going to be any grappling in the match. I don't think so. Fiziev might shoot the takedowns, but it's going to be a striking battle for the most part. I want Dan to win, but I don't think he will. Well, I don't know about it, man. Benoit is quite dangerous, but I guess in this fight, Dan actually has a chance. So you're picking Benoit to actually win this fight, which is quite possible. Let's see. Then you have Tuivasa versus Teixeira. I mean, these are the heavyweights that are going to be throwing the punches. I haven't seen Teixeira fight much. Tuivasa is the Australian guy. You know that, man. He's only got one fighting style, that is to move forward, throw the punches. There's no quit in him. These heavyweights are going to try to bang each other. I predict like a first round knockout from someone. Tuivasa might actually get it. Tuivasa has got more experience, but Teixeira has only got one loss, so you never know. But again, I'm gonna have to watch someone Teixeira fight to see like what's gonna be happening. And then you have prelims card, but there's not many big fights on the prelims card. I think there's a lot of unranked fighters actually fighting on the card. So it's only a few fights on the main card. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just 4 fights. The top 4 fights are quite interesting. So these are the fights I'm going to be tuning in. I have only made 2 predictions at the moment. I'm going with Alexander Volkanovski, and I'm going with the actually, I've only made 1 prediction. I'm only going with Alexander Volkanovski against Lopez. Dan Hooker versus Benoit Saint Denis. I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm going to be watching like a few more fights. Rafael Fiziev versus Mauricio Rufi. I want to watch a few fights from both of them to actually make up my final prediction. It could go either way. I think Rufi is the favorite at the moment, but I want to watch like a few more fights. And Tuivasa and Teixeira as well. I want to watch a few more fights to come up with like the definitive opinion at the end. What else can we discuss, guys? You know what? To be honest, as weird as Rose Cozy is, I think he is actually probably a real MMA fan, because it seems like he does understand a few positions. I can be a top bound. So, Cozy, do you actually have any MMA experience? Do you actually do jujitsu or any art? Have you actually been in a top mount before? Or do you always get mounted by like bigger guys? Oh, you are a blue belt. So that's pretty cool, actually. So it means you do know jiu-jitsu. That's good. Andy Burnham, disappointed. I like to stay on top. Hey, you're not like a top control guy. All right. U.S. winter storm leaves 7 people. That has more than 1 million power. Oh, there's a storm in U.S., by the way. That's kind of crazy, man. There was something going on in Canada as well, by the way. That was pretty bad. But sometimes I like to stay in guard of my opponent. Oh, you like pulling the guard sometimes? So I mean, you on top or you at the bottom? You're pulling the guard. Well, we'll continue to monitor and stay in touch with all the states. The fuck is going on? Oh my god. U.S. winter storm leaves 7 people. That is more than 1 million lose powers. 7 people died because of the storm. That is insane. Snow, sleet, and perilously cold temperatures sweep eastern 2/3 of country as thousands of flights grounded. At least 7 people are dead as a result of a monster winter storm in the U.S. that has brought heavy snowfall and ice from the Gulf Coast to the northeast, leaving more than 1 million in the south without power and canceling more than 10,000 flights. That is insane. Dude, there's no way this guy is a blue belt. It is possible that this guy's a blue belt. I don't even know. Dude, maybe that's where his inspiration is coming from. I tried BJJ, but I broke my toe and didn't try. And bro, you get so many injuries in BJJ. BJJ wrestling in any sort of martial art. Like right now, my knee's so fucked up. I was doing BJJ the other day, right? I am trying to get the trip on the guy. It's like an inside trip. So I got a body lock on him. We are both 50-50. He's got 1 overhook. I've got 1 overhook. We both got 1 underhooks. I'm trying to get the inside trip, but he's not like stepping in the right place, right? I push him and I try to get the trip. He sees me getting the trip. So he moves his leg back. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to take him down. So I kind of impose my strength on him. And now look, for my weight class, I'm actually a pretty strong guy. But this guy is bigger than me. He's in a different weight class. But I'm like, no, I'm still going to take you down. And I do actually take him down. Because I use the trip. I like use full source of force on my leg. And I'm like, I'm going to push it back. And I'm just going to do it. And I did actually got him down. But right after I took him down, I was like, oh man, there's something wrong going on. But I was like, I am going to finish the round anyway. I finished the round with him. I had another round with another guy that I finished as well. And I did a lot of wrestling. The thing is, my style is pretty explosive, right? I'm not like a guard puller. I'm more like a top control guy. I shoot a lot of takedowns. So I'm kind of like doing that stuff. And I think this could be, stylistically, this is a more risk-taking style to get injuries because you're not playing safe. You're kind of like making explosive movements. That's what you're doing. You're shooting for the takedowns. There's more explosive motion that is going on, and yeah, I just gotta be careful, man. But sometimes I just stay in guard on my opponent. There's no this guy's a blue belt. I am 205 pounds, so I can pull guard also. You yap a lot. Oh yeah, I do. That's why I'm here. By the way, maybe that's where his love for men is coming from. Like he started this from jiu-jitsu, by the way. Maybe there's a lot of big guys that he's putting the guard against, and they're staying in his guard for like a long time. And that's when he's like, oh shit, I don't want to fight them actually. Maybe he's used to getting dominated by men. Maybe a lot of men have dominated him. Maybe when he was like a white belt, right? He had a lot of experiences with the black belts. Maybe a lot of black belt dominated him. And they were like, fuck. It's a weird sport, right? So maybe that changed him. Maybe he got dominated by black belts so much that he's like, yes, I like to get dominated. And now he likes to get dominated in the streams. He's like, let me just dominate me in the streams. Now he's just begging people. He's like, sees people on the stream. He sees people on the street. Maybe when he gets out, he opens his door. There's people going on. There's cars. He's like stopping cars. He's like, stop. Yeah, of course, that's what I'm saying. But like, but like this guy is probably when he gets out of his house, right? There's cars going on. He's like, stop. He stops the car. He's like, can you dominate me, please? Okay, by the way, I don't know what's going on with weather, guys. It's just USA weather, especially. Did you guys hear the news about Canada's weather? Dude, in Ontario, it's minus 50 degrees. And in Russia, the extreme snow, we have never seen that for like the last 130 years. We've broken all the records. For like the last 130 years, we haven't seen snow like this in Russia. That's happened. So at the same time, when people are saying the snow in Greenland, the ice in Greenland is actually melting. So that's why there's going to be more resources that we can access. And that's why America actually want to go with it, because they want to take over the resources. But there are countries that are actually having more snow right now. And there's 7 people die. I didn't know people could die because of the snow, but that's kind of crazy. Heavy snowfall and ice from the Gulf Coast to the north, leaving more than a million in the south without power and canceling more than 10,000 flights. I have given BJ in my academy. Of course, you can BJ in your academy. Many times, maybe. Maybe that's what you were referring to when you said BJ. The Louisiana Department of Health confirmed 2 deaths related to the winter storm in Caddo Parish. According to the agency, 2 men of unknown ages died of hypothermia. New York City, Zohran Mamdani reported at least 5 New Yorkers passed away and were found. 5 New Yorkers passed away because of the snow before it started snowing. Why we do not yet know the cause of death, there's no more powerful reminder of the dangers of the extreme cold and how vulnerable how many of our neighbors are, especially homeless New Yorkers, Mamdani said. He added the storm is bringing colder temperatures for a sustained period than the New York City has experienced in 8 years. I tried with my coach, but he wasn't feeling. Okay, wow. Up to 18 inches will fall over New England and 0.5 inches of freezing rain over parts of the mid-Atlantic at Ohio, Tennessee valleys, the National Weather Service reported on Sunday. With respect to the heavy snow and ice accumulation expected from the winter storm, furthermore, heavy rain will develop over the lower Mississippi Valley on Sunday and parts of the Tennessee Valley on Monday. In the wake of the storm, communities from the southern plains to the northeast will extend the biblical cold temperatures. By the way, what do you guys think about the snow? And do you think that it should snow in England? Do you think we are missing something? Do you feel like you're being left out? You know, if you're like having direct conversations with the angels, would you be feeling left out? Would you be like, bro, can you not actually help snow here in this country? To me personally, I like when it's snowing. I like to go out. I like to see it snow. I like that feeling. But I don't like walking on the snow, especially when the snow turns into like the black ice at the end. It gets very slippery. It's hard to actually walk on it. Cars get skating. There's a lot of accidents. Everything gets slow. White belt are clueless. Them when I spar. I tried with my coach, but he wasn't feeling it. Okay, awesome. Calling the storms historic, Donald Trump on Saturday approved federal emergency disaster declarations in South Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina, Maryland, Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Indiana, and West Virginia. Okay, we'll continue to monitor and stay in touch with all the states in the path of the storm. Stay safe and stay warm. Trump wrote in a post on Truth Social. 17 states and the District of Columbia had declared weather emergencies, the Department of Homeland Security. So 17 states have actually declared weather emergencies. I didn't know there was a thing like a weather emergency. And by the way, in America, when that happens, when a lot of people actually die, they have a weather emergency. We UK have a weather emergency when the temperature goes up to like 33 degrees. You know, when it goes up to 33 degrees, okay, we're gonna close all the sports center. We're gonna shut down all the trains. The public transport is only open for like a few hours. Problem, we're gonna shut down the offices. People are working from home. You know, it's kind of different in UK. If the temperature goes down to like -8, we have the same sort of problem. It's so cold. If there's like a wind outside, there's a bit of wind outside. It's like it's heavy storm outside. There's a tornado going on. Shut down all the systems. Shut down all the public departments. Shut down all the offices. Shut down the trains. It's like this is when you compare like different systems in the world, different countries, different cities, and you're like, what is going on actually? What is going on this planet? Why do some people have such a high toleration to pain, and then some of the people actually? I think it's just a practice. It's just if you've been there, you would actually develop it. The number of outages continue to rise. As of 6:30 ET on Sunday, more than 900,000 US customers were without electricity. So there's electricity shortage as well because of the snow. I don't know how that happens, by the way. Snow is like an insulator of electricity. I don't rate. According to power outages, nearly 335,000 of those outages were in Tennessee. Mississippi reported more than 178,000. Louisiana in excess of 145,000. And Texas roughly 93,000. Okay, that is insane. Okay, guys, I'm only streaming for like a few more minutes, then I'm gonna get off my stream because I also have work tomorrow, so I gotta wake up early in the morning for the work. Andy Burnham disappointed after bid to return as MP blocked by Labour's governing body. The Prime Minister wanted personally to stop his potential rival bid to return to Westminster, and Mr. Burnham will remain as Manchester Mayor. The fuck? Okay, so we're reading. I might leave now. I'm tired about. You're gonna leave now as well? Yeah, I'm probably just gonna stay for like 5 more minutes, then I'll probably just go to sleep. So Mr. Burnham formally requested permission on Saturday to stand for the contest. As mayor of Greater Manchester, he needed approval to contest a different political election. Mr. Burnham returned to Westminster was seen by many as a potential challenge to Sir Keir Starmer's leadership. Labour's National Executive Committee, NEC, voted to block the mayor's request on Sunday. Sky News understands the 10% panel voted 8-1 to block Mr. Burnham's bid, which only Deputy Leader Lucy Powell backing him. Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood, chair of the NEC, Labour's governing body, abstained. The Prime Minister was among those who voted against Mr. Bonham, along with union figures and Labour Day representatives. I'm not into that sort of politics, so I'm just going to shut it down. Okay, guys, I'll probably just get off the stream right now. Have a good night. Take care of yourself, everybody. This might be my longest stream, to be honest, or like at least close to the longest stream.